Good morning, friends, family, fellow futures traders, Forex traders. Welcome to the market forecast. It is Thursday, January the 7th. My name is John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Lots going on. I'm sure we all saw what happened yesterday. Biden has been confirmed as the next president. Trump has now promised to go quietly after a really horrible day at the Capitol yesterday. We all saw it. We're all digesting our feelings about that. All I can do is just continue to pray for us all, and we will prevail, and we will move on. As always, we're going to look at the markets this morning in context through the lens of risk management. As far as economic numbers this morning, 7:30 this morning, the international trade numbers came out a little worse than expected, but some positives from jobless claims. Both the continuing and initial jobless claims were lower than expected. And so some good news there, 9:30. Actually, 9 o'clock this morning, we have the ISM service index due out, not expected to be an impactful number. And then 9:30 for nat gas traders, the nat gas numbers due out. Don't forget, we have the unemployment numbers tomorrow. Unemployment rate due out tomorrow, 7:30. Before the market forecast, we'll see how the market digests before that. My dog seems to want to say hello. She doesn't like when I'm not paying attention to her and I'm paying attention to you. Lacey, chill now, girl. As far as other things going on, stocks are set to open higher on prospect of further stimulus. Crude prices consolidated yesterday around that $50 level, looking to move forward again today, looking a little bit higher today on the Saudi production news, as well as an 8 million barrel draw, according to the EIA yesterday. So, some fundamental information for our crude oil traders. It's been a while since I've done anything in crude oil, and I'm thinking about it today because we're approaching that weekly kickoff high. We're going to see that very shortly. So Angelina, dang, sometimes I can't watch because my dogs go crazy when Lacey starts whining. Lacey, be quiet. You're disturbing the other dogs. Shh. Okay. Make sure you like, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling are always appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified when we do go live. Looking at the VIX a little bit ago, VIX is down actually, down at 23.29. It's about a 6% drop from where it closed yesterday. Dollar index still kind of rolling underneath that 90 level at 89.73 last I looked. If you were at the group coaching yesterday, I thought it was a great session. Had some really good questions. If I didn't get to your questions, I apologize. If that continues to grow and we need more time, I'll carve out more time in the future for the group coaching. I thought it was a really good session. As far as the markets, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at what we're seeing in the markets this morning. I've got a little poofy hair this morning. I didn't put any product in. My kids say I look like Albert Einstein when I do this. All right. Anyways, we have the charts today. Sorry about yesterday. We had a little technical difficulty and we were unable to present the charts, but we've got them for us today. All right. As always, let's start left to right with crude oil and the daily chart. Here we go. All right. So obviously, we can all see that we're holding upside structure since our lows down here. We're putting in higher highs. We're putting in higher lows. We haven't had any overlaps of areas of balance here yet, where we've left this previous area of balance, and we are headed towards a more important inflection level in the weekly kickoff high that is 51.55. Open interest is still indicating buyers are coming into this market with an 11,000 estimated additional contracts created on the upside tomorrow. A little bit weak on the volume. That's a little bit of concern for longs, and another reason why I'm really going to try and focus on our overnight high or weekly kickoff high for opportunities if I'm going to be looking for shorts today. The lower volume as price gets closer to an important inflection level is what tells me that the auction process may be getting a little bit tired to the upside here. We may be looking for a little bit of a pullback. Again, if there's any news that can change that, we'll have to make sure if we have any positions on that we are using stops. I forgot to say hello to everybody this morning. Danielle, guten Tag, Brian. Good morning, Rational Investor Brian. Good to see you. Danielle, Andrea, good morning, everyone. Charles, Will, good to see you. Vladislav, Felix, the infamous Felix Escobar is here. Market open here. Rational Investor Richie B, good morning from Tennessee. I bet it's a beautiful morning there in Tennessee. Troy, good to see you. James, Art, John, JD, the Dancing Bear, good morning to you. Sharon Turner, good morning. Be the best you can be. That's all we can do. Thank you, Brian. You're very kind to say that. Angelina, good morning. Mike Magallanes, good to see you. Angelina and Alan, the hair looks great. Thank you. And just feel lucky I still have some. How can I rewatch the coaching call that was yesterday? Main point, big ideas. I think I have your email. I'll see if I can send you a recording of it. All right. Patrick from France. Good morning. Lax. Okay. All right. Now let's get back to the charts here. The 30-minute chart. The point of control settlement. It was supportive overnight. We've kind of dropped a little bit below that. We've got our overnight low that may also be supportive. There's no real overnight inventory in this market, so I'm not thinking that I need to get into anything really quickly this morning. We're inside value from yesterday. And with settlement right here at 50.63, we're trading 50.58. There's no real short time frame overnight inventory with which to take advantage of. So that tells me usually I'm going to stay patient and I'm going to wait for a little bit of range to establish itself early in the session here, and then I'll watch the extremes of that balance for my opportunities. So I'm really going to try and be patient. Again, I'm, really interested in seeing if the market can give me an opportunity for an execution up here around 51.55, the weekly kickoff high. If we don't get it, that's okay. There will be other opportunities. The market's changed during the day. If you've got a couple of different hypotheses for crude oil this morning and none of them are playing out, wait. Don't get antsy. Don't go looking for trades. Something will come to you as the day goes on. All right, the E-mini S&Ps. All right, hang on a second here. Let's make this big so we can all see. Obviously, upside structure remains. But open interest volume was strong. Okay. Very impressive on the volume yesterday. Open interest added 20,000 contracts, so it still looks that there's like there's plenty of buyers out there left to continue this move to the upside. However, we've put in a bit of a triple top here this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today. The highs are very even. Now that's either indicative of an unfinished upside auction. Some people would say a triple top is a resistance level. I'm more interested in seeing if we can get up to this 37.85 weekly kickoff high before I start thinking about trying to sell into strength here. Just in the structure that we have here, it's more of a buy weakness, but we've got a lot of space down below us. and a lot of, probably hair trigger news, similar to what we had yesterday, is still possible. There's still a lot of possible headline risks in these markets. Nearing the weekly kickoff high, I'm excited about the possibility of having an execution up at that level. The 30-minute chart, we have an inside day. Okay, basically the overnight is inside the range from yesterday, almost entirely inside value from yesterday. We have potential long inventory with settlement down here at 37.40.50. All of our activity was above that last night. We may be holding some longs in short time frame. We're going to be opening here in about 20 minutes, 19 minutes. And if we open inside of range and inside of value, again, that's going to suggest patience to me. I will probably be watching the opening range trade because I believe that this market is, even though it's presenting in short time imbalance, I believe this market is out of balance. And in the longer time frame. So I'll watch the opening range trade. If it offers a cheap enough opportunity, I may take that. But other than that, I'm probably going to stay patient. And again, wait for the early range to establish itself and then focus on the extremes of that range for my opportunities today. There's, again, you should have a couple of different scenarios or hypotheses as to what you think might happen in any of these markets. And when one comes true, that gives you your strategy. That says, okay, the market is strong. It's presenting strong. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait and try and buy weakness in this market that is continuing to push to the upside, just as an example. The all-time high, okay, we did put it in. We took out the previous all-time high that was during the overnight session in the regular trading hour session yesterday. That to me is a given that eventually overnight all-time highs get taken out in the regular trading hour session. We've been unable to move above that in the overnight session. So if we are able to reach up to this 37.85, it's going to be in the regular trading hour session. And again, I'll be looking for information if the market gets there to see if I want to hit an execution up at that level. So yeah, the overnight high is an interesting area. Weekly kickoff high, an interesting area. Our overnight low is also very interesting. We've got our overnight low. We've got the point of control from yesterday. We've got settlement from yesterday. We've got value low just down below that. So this whole area is a bit of a convergence there and an interesting area also for an execution. But I'm going to try and stay patient in the middle. NASDAQ. All right. NASDAQ seems to be struggling a little bit more than the S&Ps, right? We have not yet been able to take out the all-time high, which did occur in the overnight session, if I'm remembering correctly. Yesterday, we had a down day on good volume, higher volume on a down day. We also added 3,000 in open interest on a down day. We're getting some short sellers here. We're getting some people thinking that the high may be in for a period of time. So this NASDAQ is continuing to struggle worse than the other equity indices. We've got an inside extended trading hour range. Perhaps a little bit of digestion starting to go on. We are seeing an area of balance being established here, so that's going to give us some reference moving forward. Weekly kickoff low down here. We looked at it in the overnight last night, rejected it. We moved higher. We are right in the middle of yesterday's value area. I mean, we may have some overnight longs in this market as settlement is down here at 12,616.75, 12,616.75. Are we going to be dashing down towards that on the open? Is the inventory that great? I don't think so. We've had a lot of time to consolidate right in the middle of value from yesterday. And I think that this consolidation has probably been just about enough to even up our short time frame inventory. So Again, I'm going to suggest trying to stay patient. My interesting levels up here are the point of control, which we've yet to reach in overnight session, and value high. Here's an overnight high. Let me see here. So our all-time high did occur in the overnight session. Keeping that in mind, there's going to be a little bit of cognitive dissonance if this market starts to head lower, because the markets tend not to leave all-time or recent highs in the overnight session. So just the fact that we are as close to the center of value from yesterday as we are leads me to believe that possibly some repair might be in play for the NASDAQ today. By repair, I mean we have a high volume node here, high volume node here. We have point of control up here, which is also a high volume node. And then we are right in the middle of a low volume node from yesterday. So if we're going to repair, we're going to probably try and check the high volume node to the high volume node first to establish a range. And then we'll take a look at opportunities outside of that. Gold. Gold is a fascinating market these days. It's really been given some pretty good signals, I think, especially when the opening range comes into play. The excursion above weekly kickoff here, this 1924 level, this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, we rejected that level. We pushed back down to the downside on a high volume and an increase in open interest. We brought in some sellers into this market, and we've got a ways to go before we're truly going to break structure. The upside structure that remains, still has me leaning towards looking for weaknesses to buy. But if we get the opportunity up a weekly kickoff high, that may give the opportunity to take a move take an execution in the opposite direction. The thing about the weekly kickoff levels is they're good areas because you can limit the risk. You limit the risk. Let's see here. Yeah, it seems as though this market is struggling to the upside, but I'm calling this upside structure remains, at least for now. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. Weekly kickoff level is going to be pivotal. Okay, this is the weekly kickoff high. This was, we closed down here at 1908.60. We are in the middle of the range and the value from yesterday. The opening range, I've put it on here as a reference level for possible opportunities as the day goes on, is the high of the regular trading hour session, 1920.60. It did provide a pretty decent opportunity to the downside here, but because the market, I think, is, again, inherently holding upside structure, good upside structure, this was not a trade that you would want to kind of fall in love with and keep all day long. So we're in range, we're in value. Interesting areas are overnight low, settlement, point of control just below, overnight high, value high. Are we going to just kind of wrestle with this weekly kickoff level, which may actually be somewhat pivotal today? It is entirely a possibility. All right, so let's go through the currencies here, and we'll get down to business. All right, so boy, that euro really kind of towed the line on this trend line last night. The upside structure is good. It remains. It seems pretty organized. It's not going ballistic. It's just kind of grinding higher with the weakening dollar. Volumes strong yesterday, pretty decent volume. We didn't really do much as far as open interest is concerned. We only added 400 contracts, which may be indicating that this move to the upside is ready for a bit of a pullback, similar to perhaps what we had last night. We're going to watch and see what happens today, of course. The 30-minute chart has us settlement at 123.26 and a half ticks, right in the middle of value from yesterday. We are holding some overnight shorts in this market, so I'm looking for the overnight low as being somewhat pivotal. I want to see the overnight low hold. We did close the gap, so we're not necessarily looking for opportunities to the short side here. And our overnight low, because it comes in against that trend line so nicely, is really a prime opportunity. I'm thinking if we get that opportunity today, let's take a look at the Japanese yen now. Okay, with Japanese yen, boy, we ran the around the world this week. Yesterday we opened the overnight at weekly kickoff high. We closed here. We open here. We are currently trading weekly kickoff low. I call that kind of around the world. We go weekly kickoff high to weekly kickoff low. Is this going to be supportive? We do have some overnight inventory that is kind of piled into the short side. Pretty big downside volume yesterday. We did lose 6,400 on the preliminary open interest bulletin. Some longs perhaps getting out of this market, at least for now. That's what it looks like when we have a down day and an up market and we lose open interest on higher volume. We got some profit taking, it would appear, yesterday. The 30-minute chart looks like this. Settlement is all the way up here, 97.0350. Put that on your charts. We've got a lot of overnight inventory right down towards a weekly kickoff important inflection level. We've been unable to close that gap. If we begin to accept and build volume below this inflection level, this weekly kickoff low here, we may start to see this market continue to move to the downside. Right now, it is just wrestling with that number. It may be tempting to use that as a pivot and go long above and short below. If you've done that, you've probably realized that it's a little bit of a buzzsaw here. It's a little choppy here. So be cautious, be patient, wait for the right timing, if you can find it, to look for your opportunity off of this weekly kickoff low here. So, all right. What do we have here? It looks like we've got some thoughts and questions here. Yes, I do have your email, Ute. Art, just finished the combine in a while. Just finished the first combine in a while and plan on trading corn and soybeans. Does anyone else here trade grains? Just curious if anybody else would want to talk grains now and then. Definitely find somebody that is trading grains. It's always good to have community when you are trading. My dad traded grains for 40 years. I traded grains for a couple of years. It's been a while since I've been involved in trading grains. But, Art, if there's anything that I can help with, don't hesitate to ask. Nobody knows everything, and I certainly don't. Anything I do know, I'm going to be happy to help you with. All right. Brian, I remember when rock stars had paid a lot of money to get their hair done like that. Yes. Well, I was blessed. I don't have to pay that money to get this look, right? You guys are having your conversation. That's good. You're welcome, Ute. And Art, grew up across the street from a grain trader. My dad's best friend was always fascinated by grain traders. Art, I don't know if you know the guy's name, but my dad pretty much knew everybody on the grain floor. He was a grain trader, and he was also the hedge manager for Ralston Purina, which Ralston Purina is a huge manufacturer of animal feeds and consumer staples. He spread a lot of business around on the trading floor, as well as was a grain trader. So maybe somebody that he knew. Always fascinating. All right, so let's take our deep breath. Landis. Doesn't ring a bell to me. If my dad were with us, I would certainly check it out and ask him. All right, let's try that deep breath again. Stay humble, grateful, and creative today. Say a prayer for all of us. And have a great trading day. Dan will be back with you for the market recap at 3 o'clock. It's Thursday. We're rounding the final furlong here of the week. Let's finish it strong. Get out there and profit. Trade well. I'll see you tomorrow morning.